YouTube, what's going on? Quick video here. Happy New Year. So I grabbed this building at a train shop. We actually have a few of those here in the Phoenix area, so it's kind of nice if you're looking for supplies to make dioramas. But this is just a real small one. The building's only about an inch, maybe inch and a half deep, so it's more of like a wallscape. But I thought it made a nice little front for like a street scene, so I grabbed it. But that's not the big one. I sold the 1:64 scale auto auction, and when at the same train shop that I found this building here, I found another building that is scratch made. The building has a sign on it that says Gia River Arena, but it doesn't look anything like that particular building. However, when I saw the building, to me, it screamed car dealership. And having sold the 1:64 scale auto auction, I thought, well, I'll do a car dealership with this building. This is actually a little bit bigger than the auto auction, but it probably has less detail, but it looks way more realistic in my opinion. So let's take a look at that. So here's this little street scene. I'm just going to move the light over here. Here is the car dealership. So here's part of the lot here. The street is definitely not my best work. I've been using this AK Terrains asphalt, but this diorama finished me off on that material, so all I had left to use was the AK Terrains concrete, which is still a decent texture. You know, this is the texture of the concrete. I think it's just the painting and the weathering where, you know, it just didn't come out good. The weathering powder that I used was way too dark, and there's just too much contrast. So at some point I may refinish the road in the front. But the rest of it, I feel like, came out really nice. And so this is the same material, the AK Terrains concrete, but I did it more as an asphalt. That's why I didn't do expansion joints or anything like that. To me, it looks a little too rough to be a concrete surface. It looks more like asphalt. But I didn't paint this one. I just black washed it, weathered it. Now, I did do oil stains. So every parking spot has oil stains. I've got stains up here from where cars being parked. It's a used car dealership. Here's the building, by the way. And then here's the front of the lot. So I basically just made a big model concrete slab here with balsa wood and plaster. Basically just a big square, and then this just sits directly on it. This building probably weighs 2 to 3 pounds. It's really heavy. So I did that. I made this little car stand, also made out of balsa wood. Real easy to make. And this can be moved. If I want to move it, I can, you know, real easy to do. But it does fit perfectly on that concrete slab. So there's that. And then in the back here, we have a picnic table, kind of like a break area, and then just a little kind of garden area. You know, just to get a little bit of greenery or a little bit of natural landscape on it. So that's pretty much it for the car dealership. And real quick, a couple of new castings from Greenlight. We have the Baja S10. I believe it's 1991. and also the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. Now I did wheel swap this because I like these wheels a little bit better than the other wheels that come on it. These are Ford Bronco Sport stock wheels, so they are authentic to the car. And also wanted to show you that this is from the new Great Outdoors release, which is there's 6 vehicles, and it comes with the tent. Now the thing about that is that the tent has 2 little posts in the bottom, so the top of the car you do get 2 little holes. I think that could potentially bug some people. It doesn't bother me too much. That you can't tell. I mean, you don't notice them unless you're really looking at them. But really cool casting. I actually like this casting a lot. I'm not a big fan of the car in real life. I prefer the Wild Track. But from a replication standpoint, I think they did a really nice job on this car. I think the stance could be a little bit better, maybe just a tad higher, but it's not bad. I mean, proportionately it looks really good, especially when you compare it. Oh shoot! Especially when you compare it to the Wild Track. I have, I gotta grab I just dropped a bunch of motorcycles. But if you look at like the stance on this and the, just the space that the tires take up in the wheel wells, it's just horrible. And then obviously we have some green light quality control issues there. I like the casting. I think it's a nice casting. I just think the stance is off. I lifted the Black Bandit and it looks a lot better, but I don't know. I think between these two, I prefer the Sport. The Sport, you get tampoed taillights, but you do get transparent lens headlights that do have some tampo detail on them. So, really cool truck. And then the Baja here, I think they did a nice job on that. I wish the wheels had a little bit more detail, maybe some back shadowing. But anyway, so that's it. So that's the car dealership diorama. This one, like all my dioramas, this one will be for sale. But I'm only going to sell it local in Phoenix. Or I shouldn't say that. I'm only going to sell it for local pickup. This one will not be shipped. Same thing with the brick building. I probably could ship it, but man, there's just a lot of risk of damage. Anytime these dioramas that you have stuff going vertical, like a building or a wall or a fence or a tree, all of that stuff makes it really highly susceptible to getting damaged in shipping. In fact, in every one that I've shipped, every single one of them has been damaged. So when I do ship dioramas, I always have that disclaimer that, you know, damage is almost a guarantee, and there are going to be things that you have to do to kind of touch it up. You know, you might have to reapply the trees, or you might have to glue a fence back down or something like that. So this pole here is for a sign. It'll be painted and everything. I need to get a sign first. I'd also like to get a sign to replace this sign, and I have a little bit of work to do on the building itself with a couple of panels, so I'll figure all that out. But I need to find a way to get a couple of signs printed. So anyway, so that's it. That is the new car dealership, and definitely will be good for displaying a lot of cars, because just with the parking spaces, there are 15. So that's just the parking spaces. That doesn't count the street. It doesn't count this back corner which you could put, you know, like trailers. You could put any kind of like boat, RV. And then there's a spot here, which if you wanted to, you could do another row of at least 4 or 5 cars. Doing it this way, like so. So there's plenty of room on here. It's a good layout. And then of course I did the front portion as like a little kind of like an exterior showroom where you can put a car there. You could probably put more cars on that, but I specifically designed it to have a car on the corner. So as far as dioramas go, this one doesn't, it's not my best work, but I think it does take some of the best pictures of any diorama that I've made, just because there's so much backdrop to it. Like, there's just so much backdrop, you know, like angles everywhere. So, all right, well, thanks for watching. You guys take care. Happy New Year. Happy hunting.